She had skin so weak and inflamed that she had to wash her face with saline and boiled water. Her skin was so burnt that she couldn't leave her house for 6 months. And she lamented to her best friend that she would rather die than get out of the house. Hello and welcome to Season 4 of the Womenpreneur Asia podcast. I'm your host, Krista Gun. I'm also an entrepreneur, author, marketer, storyteller, and connector. Each season, I feature Asian women entrepreneurs who are open enough to talk about their businesses and lives. I do this because I believe it is time that Asian women have a platform for their voices to be heard. Join me as I uncover diverse experiences, knowledge, and wisdom that will help you strategize and grow your own business, no matter where you are or what stage you are at now. These are real conversations with everyday women in business across Asia. This episode is brought to you by my company, Redbox Studio. Today's episode is with an entrepreneur from Thailand, Kanyachat Lerttanapaiboon, who is fondly known as Elle. She is the co-founder and CEO of Her Hyness, a skincare brand that focuses on ingredients that are safe and good for your skin. Elle had worked for well-known cosmetic and skincare brands in Singapore and China, and despite being one of the rising stars in the corporate world, she left corporate to start her clean beauty skincare company in Thailand. If you're a marketing person like me, you'll love this episode. Elle and I spoke about how she decided to focus on the Thai market despite her years of experience in China, how she pilot tested her first product, and how she grew her homegrown brand to rank in the top 20 beauty brands in Thailand next to global brands, a milestone that she is truly proud of. Today's episode is exceptionally exciting and insightful because we also spoke about being a woman in business, being a mother, being a workaholic, bringing family into the business, and so much more. I'm very excited for you to listen to our conversation today. So let's get started. Elle, welcome to Womenpreneur Asia.
Hi, Krista. Thank you for having me here today.
So Elle, where are you today?
Right now, I'm based in Bangkok, Thailand.
And were you always living in Bangkok, Thailand?
No, not at all. I have been abroad for over 10 years. So back and forth. During my childhood, I have been in Sweden for exchange student. During my undergrad, I was in Montreal, Canada at McGill. And then afterward for MBA, I was at Harvard Business School, Boston. After Harvard, then I moved to Singapore to work at L'Oreal there, and then came back to Bangkok for a year. And after that, I was shipped to Shanghai, China, and stayed there for about 5 years. And I just moved back here in 2016.
So I know that you have been living abroad, at least
Right.
most of your life, right? And you also speak Mandarin.
Yes. 要不要说中文？
很好。So it's always very fascinating when people can speak multi languages.
I think for Mandarin, it was very hard. Had I not lived in China, I would say it was really tough. But back then, it was a lot of things about. There were a lot of reasons that really pushed me to learn. I was hired directly from Bangkok to be a marketing director for MAC Cosmetic at Estee Lauder, China. I was the first expat to be able to manage the total China market, which for this job, normally they would require someone who A, can speak Mandarin perfectly, and 2, worked in China before, because you have to understand the culture, consumer behavior, and also all the marketing landscape there, right? So I would say I got lucky, and I'm grateful that they trusted in me and they gave me 2 months to learn Chinese before I started. So during those 2 months, I really have to learn Chinese all day and try to prioritize speaking and listening first. And afterwards, then I kept taking classes every week.
That is really a quick and urgent way to learn Chinese.
Very. So back then, if you talk to me about the vocabulary about vacuum cleaner, I probably wouldn't know, but I would know market share, growth, profitability, all those business Chinese. So that's a way that I learned very fast. So basically, I listed down all the words I need for business context, and I asked my teacher to teach me then.
That is really interesting because someone who's from Thailand going to China and trying to understand the Chinese market and also learning Chinese at the same time.
Right. I was totally grateful. I mean, even the people at Estee Lauder China, they were amazed and surprised that why do they need to hire a marketing director directly from Thailand. So I think I was so lucky to have that opportunity there.
So now that we talk a little bit about your corporate life, maybe we backtrack a little bit and talk about your business first. Then we can get back into the details of how from that you start. So your business is called Her Hyness.
Yes. So I'm a co-founder and CEO of Her Hyness. We are number one clean beauty brand in Thailand. So
and clean beauty, I like that term. So what does clean beauty mean?
So actually, clean beauty is not definitely defined by every brand. It depends on how you define it. But for us though, the clean beauty meaning definitely no harmful chemicals. And we use the EU standard as the parameter. So we don't have over 1,500 harmful chemical in our products, that one. But we go beyond that because even some ingredients that could irritate someone's skin, like alcohol or a fragrance or silicone or colorant or paraben, we do not put it. And we move even further, even AHA or BHA or retinol, which honestly are very useful skincare ingredients. But it could harm your skin barrier, especially for those with sensitive skin. We don't use it either. So we tend to use alternative ingredients, for example, salicylic alba bark extract, which is natural BHA, or bak boo choy, which is like natural retinol. So we go beyond that. So for us, clean beauty means, we want everyone to have the most beautiful skin to your maximum potential without causing any irritation. Yeah. So that's our clean beauty. And also we want everyone to have sustainable beauty, basically. Not that you are you're pretty today, but in long term, your skin is weak. So that's for us, it's not sustainable beauty. Because, for Asia, people want to have like bright white skin. And a lot of times people sacrifice today bright skin with long-term weak skin. And we don't want that to happen to you. So that's why we look in more of the long-term effects. We want to make sure that your skin is healthy, your skin barrier is strong. With that good foundation, you can be whatever you want. So that's our definition of clean beauty. So every of our product will be sent to test for dermatologically tested by dermatologists, non-comedogenic as well, would not clog your pores. But besides that as well, we try to go beyond. Sustainable beauty for us is not only to people, but also to environment as well. So for example, our box, we also use it's a recyclable paper. It's a food grade paper. So like ink printing, our sheet mask is 100% biodegradable. So meaning if you throw it away right now, it will degrade by itself. So we try to incorporate, try to save the world as much as possible. But at the same time, we also have to weigh with the efficacy of the product as well, because for skincare product, the important things is also stability of the product, whether, because all ingredients are not stable. So the packaging has to help play that role as well. So in a lot of our product, if it's possible, we will try to use airless packaging, especially for the product that needs to preserve. Like for example, any product with vitamin C, which is not stable at all. Yes.
You found a gap, right? That way you can fit.
Yeah. So, I have been in this beauty industry for over 10 years, starting in 2009 after I graduated from Harvard MBA, right? So I was with L'Oreal in Singapore. I was basically the brand that I worked with was Biotherm Lancome. And after that, MAC Cosmetics in China. And having been in the biggest global beauty companies in the world, I still see that, there's a gap in the market for people with totally sensitive skin. So I see the opportunity in clean beauty. And also because I myself have had a crisis in my skin. I mean, a lot of like skincare brand owner would say this, but you have to look at my face. It's very severe. So basically what happened to me was that, I was just like any girl who wants to be beautiful quickly. And in Thailand, it's so easy to go to clinics or get any meds you want at the drugstore. In Thailand, there's a lot of laser treatment, right? So I have been using AHA, very concentrated AHA treatment for a few years and do it monthly. Of course, every time that you do it, your face becomes brighter, right? But I didn't know that it also thinner my skin. It make my skin weak. And later on, I was even allergic to my own sweat. I got rash easily. I got acne easily. Of course, I went back to see the doctor. The doctor gave me steroid. So I put on steroid on my face. My face got better. The doctor said, you only have to use it 3 days. Do not use it longer than that and use only thin layer. But I didn't listen, right? After using steroid, my face become good. I'm like, oh, okay, this is good. Then every time I had problem, I always put on steroid. And it just make my skin weaker and become more sensitive. And later on, I just went to clinic to just do the laser for acne. I didn't even have acne. The doctor said that you have clots inside your skin. So let's do it. And after that, my skin became like this. Basically, my skin was burned on both sides that you see. I could not leave my house for 6 months. Could not apply anything because the epidermis was already out. It was already dermis. So it could get infected very easily. So I had to wash my face with saline water or like the boiled water only and waited until my skin regenerate by itself. And after that, my skin was never the same, actually. You can still see like a little bit of like, it was really thin. That's why when I was working with Lauder and also L'Oreal, I could not even use the product. Then not because they're not good, but because my skin was too weak. I was allergic to fragrance and the skincare that has a lot of alcohol content in it. Because alcohol make the skincare not sticky, and it's just give a good feeling, right? But for me, I couldn't use it at all. And it was a wake-up call when I was in China, basically because there were no clinics there. I mean, to go to the clinics, either it's so expensive. If you go to the hospital, you wasted almost entire day. And the doctor would not just prescribe you anything anyway. So back then, it was like, I really need to have a strong skin. I need to have a healthy skin. And that's why the concept of clean beauty was born.
But you didn't really immediately take action on starting your brand, right?
No. It was, I had that idea, but I was also so scared. My corporate life was really good. I have to say, I got promoted very quickly all the time, like 8 months, 1 year, move up. I became a marketing manager for Lancome when I was only 29. And my entire team were older than me. So I was, promised to be promoted to become whatever and whatever all the time. So it seems like the opportunity cost is very high to me back then. And, I got a good pay, good standard of living. So it was hard decision. So I have to say that the reason that I also leave corporate world was also for my personal life. I always want to have kids. Different people have different ideas, right? But for me, I really want to have kids. And for some reason, I could not conceive during my years at L'Oreal and Lauder. I had to say though that I worked very hard. I was a workaholic. So in L'Oreal, I probably leave the office around midnight. In Estee Lauder is better, around 9-ish. To me, that's already early. And I travel all the time. Back then at Estee Lauder, China is a big market, right? You always have to go to different cities. You have meetings, regional in Hong Kong. Sometimes you flew to New York, to Paris. So I never really had time. So by then I thought it's time for me to leave the corporate world, to rest. I was burnt out, I admit, and I want to have kids first. So, but then, you know, I after I left, nothing happened. So I thought, okay, maybe I wasn't destined to have kids. It's okay, move on, right? So I started to pursue my dream in creating clean beauty. I was scared as well, for sure, because back in corporate world, you have such a big pool of talented people who supported you everywhere. Your own boss, regional office, global office, they were all smart, great. And we had a lot of resources to help us make decisions. But doing my own company, I had no one. It was only me, right? So I was a bit scared. But, you know, 6 months passed, no kids. So I'm like, screwed it. You know, I don't want to waste my time anymore. I'm going to do it. So I started. And after I started and had product, I was pregnant with my first child. And I'm like, oops, you know, because like, oh my gosh,
it's like having two babies at the same time.
Yeah. And I'm like, wow. And back then I was still in Shanghai. I was alone. Well, I was with my husband, but there were only two of us. And my husband was an ex-banker who also left corporate world and started his own business. And he was so busy. So I thought, if I was still in Shanghai, damn, no one's gonna help me if anything happened. So by the 7th month, I had a very big tummy already. I told my husband, sorry, I'm gonna go home. And also because I already started Her Hyness, but haven't sold it. I had the product, I had the concept, and I knew that my market would be Thailand. And I already thought if I started my own business when I was in China, selling in Thailand, and I could not travel, no way. And communication as well, because with everyone in Thailand, they use Line, use Facebook. And you know, in China, it was tough. You use VPN and it's not stable. You call them with Skype, they show up as some random number that can't call you back, you know. So I told him, look, if I'm gonna start my own business, I'm gonna raise my kids. I wanna go home because that's easier that way. And I think I cannot travel anymore. So he agreed. So I flew back, packed all my big luggages because I was in China for so long, went back to Thailand and then start. So at first, I think it was by design. So after I delivered, I just put product in the store at first in the offline channel and see whether it would fly. Looking back, I think back then I chose to prioritize my baby over my business, even though I started already. It was sort of like a pilot strategy and to see whether the product has the life of its own. I mean, when you want to grow yourself, if you invest heavily, your sales will pick up if the product is good, right? But without the resources, I think it's sort of like a good test to see whether the product has potential by itself. So I didn't have a lot of expectation by then because I was alone. I mean, my husband was in China, so I was with my kid alone in Thailand. My parents live in another house, right? So I chose to play it easy. I would have said that, you know, just try to see how it picks up, and then fortunately the product sells by itself. So after 2 years,
what made that product sell by itself? So that's the interesting part, right?
I think
because you say you're focusing on your baby.
Yes, the good thing is that I think the product has to be good, right? I mean, if the product is good, when I develop product, I use it my own for sure. But I have to test it with myself, with people around me first before sending to test at the lab, right? Because otherwise I would just waste so much money doing all kind of testing. So I think because the product is good by itself, and I was in the right channel as well. I would say the first place that I launched was like one of the biggest beauty retail store that has a lot of foot traffic. And I think my product was in the good location as well at the store. So it's kind of like help. And I think in the first 2 years, I didn't have a overly high expectation either. Because at first I thought my product's not gonna sell at all, but it just keep growing, even though it was just a small growth, right? But it's still doing okay. So then I see that, oh wow, it has a life of its own, even without support. And during those 2 years was good for me as well, because I haven't really like properly launch the product. So it kind of gave me flexibility in adapting my strategy, my design, my branding, and everything. And by my kids was 2 years, and of course she was in school. I just like, okay, go to pre-K. Then it gave me the time to really starting real business. So at first I started with one person, which is myself, right? And then I started hiring from 2 to 3. I got a partner to come join me to help me, an ex-banker as well from Goldman Sachs. But he had no background in beauty whatsoever. He came from finance. So, but right now, so we split the work completely in different area. So by then he came to help, and then we start running the brand. But again, after that, I got pregnant again. So I have 2 daughters right now. But now it's like all good, no more.
So going back to the time when you first started your business, what was that first product or the first few products that you put out into the market?
It was the 3 basic products, the rebalancing water, the serum, and the cream. Those are the 3 basic products. I can show you how it looks right now, but this is not my product, but this is the product that we have. This is the cleanser, this is the sunscreen, and this is the ampoule. So yeah. So it was the basic set, basically the hydration, skin barrier set. Only 3 products at first.
And you also mentioned just now very specifically that you had the concept and the idea for Her Hyness.
Yeah.
And you knew it was for the Thai market.
Yes. At first.
Why?
For Thai market at first, why?
Yeah.
No, of course my dream is to go across Asia.
Yeah.
But why Thai market at first, right? I remember my time in L'Oreal when I had a mentor in L'Oreal, and my first market was in Singapore back then when I was about 26 years old. And then I asked her, it was new for me as well, for beauty. Because before MBA, I never worked in FMCG before. I was in agency and venture capital fund. And I asked my mentor that, how would I succeed quickly? And then she said that you have to start in the market that you're familiar with when you're born. Why? You know it by heart. You don't need to learn anything. You have your connection. So I remember all those words, right? And then I thought that if I were to start and I want to succeed, I had to start here because I understand Thailand thoroughly. I have connection everywhere. So I think those are important instead of starting in China, which is totally different and big, fragmented. Even though I was in global company with tons of resources, I can tell you that it's not easy. Yeah. So that's why Thailand first. I have to build my army, my base here. Yes.
And now you have built it, right? Now your brand is really the top brand, one of the top brands in Thailand.
Well, I'm proud to say we are an omnichannel brand, right? So in the offline channel, I'm proud to say that we're #1 clean beauty brand. And lately for 3 in Lazada, I'm so excited. We are the only Thai brand made it to the top 20 beauty brands in Thailand. And this top 20 include personal care in mass market like Unilever, Lion Group. So we made it there next to the global brand. We just in the number next to Eucerin.
Congratulations.
So, thank you so much.
And how long was that journey from the time you decided, okay, I'm going to take my concept and turn it into a brand and product? How long was that journey for you?
Honestly, from the idea at first to start, it was probably 6 months. But that first initial concept for me was not good. The brand evolved along the way, I would have said. It's like, I think in a way that my first 2-year pilot that I prioritized my kids over, it's kind of good in a way for me. I didn't have to rush. I didn't have like external capital from somewhere else that they would pressure me. So it gave me an opportunity to see and change along the way. So the brand actually only really kicked off, I would say in 2019. I started in 2016. And then from 2020 onward, it was like, so even with COVID, I'm also very proud to say that I did not lay off anyone. I did not decrease anyone's salary at all. And we have about 100 employees in our company. And our CAGR for about 4 years is 108%. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's growing like this.
It's amazing
Thank
how
you
you have
very
taken
much.
your success in the corporate world and parlay
I
that
think-
into your own business.
Right. But I have to say though that it has different challenges, you know, from corporate world, like totally different, totally differences. Yeah. So for example, like in terms of people, I think it's the same answer from every entrepreneur. I think the most important challenge is probably people, how to recruit good talent and also retain them, because we're nobody, right? I mean, it's a new brand, no one knows about it. When they have a choice to go to L'Oreal, to Estee Lauder and Her Hyness, why would they come, right? So I think that's number one. I think that's something that I struggle with the most. And also because I was used to a super qualified, talented, you know, from a big brand. They were on my team. So I got used to that. So that's the adaptation that I had to make in the beginning as well. And also capital, because we bootstrap ourselves. I think for entrepreneur, there are choices, right? Whether you want to raise fund or when you want to bootstrap, I think both way have pros and cons. And I choose, my personal choice is to grow my business organically and sustainably. So that's why I choose to use my own capital at first. And then that comes with pros and cons for sure, because when it's your own, then of course you cannot just like, you know, spend and do crazy things. So that's why it takes a lot of time. Well, a bit of time at first before it's gain some critical mass and grow. So that's a cons as well. And also for family, I don't know. I think if you interview a lot of entrepreneurs who have kids, it is tough. You know, like for example, how can I say this? My life before having kids and have kids are totally different. I even told my team, you're lucky to work with me now, because otherwise by 10,
you're a different person then.
At the office. Yes, I will not let you go home, because like my time, I mean, in the morning with 2 kids as well, I have to take care of my kids. I breastfeed for each of the kids almost 2 years. So I need to pump. You know, Krista, I had to time my pumping schedule according to my meetings. I had to pump when I drove. I even pump before in the meeting when there's tons of guys. I'm like, guys, don't worry. I'm not gonna get naked or anything. I have cover. Don't mind me. And it's like, boot. I did that already. So yeah. Or like when your driver quit and no one's picked up your kid. It just happened to me last week. I had to just run to the office, go pick up my kid. She was late. She had to be at the playground. I came back and have the meeting. Yeah. So yes, those are all challenges.
Those are challenges that now you experience because you're a mom entrepreneur.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So versus just say Elle before she got pregnant. So you would have been a completely different kind of entrepreneur back then.
Oh yeah. Yes. Totally different. Yeah. I don't know. I think I got struggle at first because I'm the type of person that always I give 100 or even beyond to everything that I did. For work, I always roll my sleeve and go beyond, right? And when I started my business and had my kid, I think I always carried guilt in my mind because I felt that I could not contribute, you know, totally or even beyond 100%. Don't talk about beyond, not even 100% to my work and my kids. And I think I had that, well, I still had that guilt, but I think it's become less and less because I'm also aware that I can't do it. You know, I cannot be 100% at both. So maybe I have to learn and to adjust and be happy with 85, for example. And also how to learn to delegate as well, and also learn to split the time efficiently. How I should like organize my time, and also know that this is how much I can do, and maybe reduce a bit of growth. If I want to grow 200%, maybe 150 is still okay. So I think through time I also learn to adjust my expectation and be happy with what I can do, because I don't think you can do both. I mean, if you want to be like a perfect mom who goes to like all of her class, no way, but you have to pick and choose as well what's important, right?
So were these realizations coming to you when you were a mom?
Yes, I mean, I felt really bad, really. And then whenever I had a chance to meet with working mom as well, especially entrepreneur, I asked them, I have a lot of like very successful, seniors who are also a working mom. And I asked them, do you feel the same way? And they're always like, oh yeah, everyone's felt the same way. But you just have to learn that you cannot do that. So you just have to be, you just have to be the best at the state that you are. And you might not be able to like work till midnight anymore, but so what? You come home first, you take your kids to bed, you can work later on, and you can still like adjust timing. And so I think with that, then you start to be happy with who you are and try to make the best of every day.
And what do you enjoy most about your business?
Oh man, I'm so excited to see the sales, the growth coming up. I'm very happy when people send message to us on Instagram or Facebook and say that, oh my gosh, we love your product make our skin better. And I just spread the news to my friends. Recently, I got a random Facebook message from my best friend in 5th grade, whom I lost contact for a long time. And her message was that, hey, Elle, I just met up with my good friends, and she spent half an hour talking about your sheet mask and tell me how much I miss of not using your mask. That's why she wanted to share that with me and say that, people really love your products. And that really made me happy, because as the brand owner, we really put a lot of effort in developing good product. It went through a long process, to be honest. And when people use our product and love it and love the result of it so much that they kept talking about it to their friends, it's like the best thing that could happen to me, besides sales, of course. Yeah.
Are there any other things that you enjoy besides those two things that you spoke about just now?
I think also building a company. I don't know. It's because like being like entrepreneur, business owner, it's not like you work in corporate doing marketing, developing new product, but also to it's like build your own organization, right? It's dealing with people. I was happy seeing us from having one employee, not having a proper office. I used my mom's old townhome as an office at first, not just bought a desk, and then start to expand from 1 to 2 to 3 to 5 to 10, until right now that we have like our own office, our own studio. We do our own fulfillment. We have our own warehouse and everything. So we pretty much do everything in-house. So I enjoy seeing our company grow, start to have culture, to have like, to be a proper company. I think that's something that I'm very proud of as well, and to see how our company can grow even further.
I think that's amazing. I mean, in a short span of a couple of years, you've done.
I think that's probably the tougher part than building a brand. I would say, yeah, like building your organization. We talk about organizational culture, but when you implement, really, it's not easy, because with small companies, other things else always have more importance, because you have to fighting every day, everything else seems to have more importance than this. So yeah, seeing it grow, seeing it become what we are today, I'm so proud of it.
Now I want to talk a little bit about the brand, right? It's called Her Hyness. How do you come up with this very unique name?
This unique name? Okay. So as I told you before, my brand has evolved, right?
Yeah.
So in the beginning of Her Hyness, the first ingredient that I chose to use was royal jelly. And that was because when I had that burnt skin on my face, I couldn't apply anything. So the doctor and also my friends who were food scientists recommended me to eat royal jelly fresh because it helped with the skin generation. So I had nothing to lose because I was at home anyway. So I took it and I felt that my skin became better quicker than it should be. So when I first started, I thought of that ingredient, of course, is because of saved my life. So Her Hyness, royal jelly was very expensive in the past, and it was only royalty who can afford it. So the first name was Her and then Hyness, Higness. But as I said, the brand has evolved, and then I want to come up with a more unique name. So I change HIGH to HY, which stands for hydration and hygiene. So hydration is the basic, it's the foundation for healthy skin. So that's why it becomes Her Hyness like this.
So it has evolved too from the original name to now.
I think a lot of times when we hear a successful story of someone, we hear it at the end already, but we didn't know what that brand or what that person has gone through before you know about it, you know? So I think for a lot of people that I spoke to who become successful today, they also struggle in the beginning as well. There's some change that has evolved. The business model has changed. The product, the branding has changed. It's just so normal because a lot of times people don't get it right the first time. But the key important thing is whether you can learn from your mistake, you can step up and you can adapt and you can change, you know? So for us, it's the same thing. And then we have evolved and we are still evolving. I would have said we can't stop evolve, right? Yeah.
So what is the star product now for Her Hyness? Or
star
do you
product,
have
yes,
a lot
we
of star
have,
products?
This is the product that sells so well right now. It's called Royal Haya Water Sunscreen. So this is a hybrid sunscreen, and the reason that it sells so well was because now I'm selling already because the texture is so light. See, it's water. Oh. So normally people hate sunscreen because it's so thick. Yes, but this is like water. Basically, you can apply so many as you want, and don't worry about efficacy because it has over SPF 50. I did the test already. It's actually SPF 87 and PA+++, 4+. And this is according to ISO standard already. So it can protect you from UVA, UVB, and also blue light. So this product really fly. Also, the other one, I don't have it with me right now, is the sheet mask.
That's the one that your friend was telling you that someone was raving to her about it.
Yes. It's the sheet mask because our sheet mask is 100% biodegradable. It's plastic free. Normally the sheet mask, you will see the plastic inside, right? Us, we don't need to use it at all. And the fabric is very soft. It's stick to your face. You can do any activities with it. Normally you put face mask, you probably have to lay down. I ran with my kids playing catch. I was like, do anything I want, cleaning, whatever. And during the time that you mask, it will just give you negative ion to your face. It's like adding oxygen to your face. After you take it out, your skin become crystal clear, flawless. I'm not overselling, it's true.
So now that you've excited me and probably people who are listening. So then the other question is, where can we get those stuff?
Recently there was a customer who asked in Instagram asking whether we ship to Malaysia. And I was like, oh, sorry, we cannot ship it. And she wants it so much that she asked, can you, I have to say where it is, can you let us know, when you ship to Malaysia and even like Philippines?
Can anyone order from you, or it's just for the Thai market?
No, for Thai market. Not that people don't, actually there are a lot
we all
of
have to run to Thailand to buy it.
for now. The reason was because, not that we're not interested, and I see it as a phase because even in Thailand now, there's still like, there's still a big opportunity growth for us. To be frank, a lot of people, retailer as well, online and offline from throughout Asia has contacted us, mainly in actually Malaysia and Singapore, and also some Middle East as well. But I think if I just give my product there and don't do anything about it, it's not gonna fly. I still need to give some marketing support. And I just felt that I'm not ready to do that yet because even with Thailand now, we still has a lot of things to do. So I think that's in the future pipeline that we want to do, but probably not currently, not this year for sure. Yeah, but yes, in the future plan.
So then this brings me to the other question. So it means that your marketing must be really, really good. I know you're you used to be in marketing, yes, of course. But what is that special secret sauce that you're doing for your brand, Her Hyness?
We can talk about this like forever, but I think your branding has to be strong. I think your brand positioning has to be clear. You know who you sell to. It's like basic marketing 101, right? If you understand, if you has that clear and your execution follow that, every execution follow that, then your message will be clear. I'm not saying that we are the best right now. As I said, I still see a lot of rooms that we can improve, but a lot of times things cannot happen at once, but you just have to like start doing it. So that's a key with branding and then product. Since you understand who you reach out to, right? We're not reaching to like everyone in the market. So it has to be a certain people that, really want to have the strong skin, don't want to use anything really strong or like super peel off face. If they want to see result like tomorrow, probably not us either. So we know who we consumers are and we develop the product and the developing product as well. I think it's very important because if your product is super good and it has clear, unique selling point, people try it and they know that, wow, this is way superior. And when you push your marketing support, I think it just help each other, right? People know about it, they try, they use, and they, wow, this is really good. This is not BS, So we earn a lot of organic media. I have to tell you, I mean, a lot of stories, IG story that we have on Instagram, we didn't pay. And some actress and celebrity also talk about our products without us paying. The reason that we was able to do that was because the product itself is superior. So when it's combined, then, sales happen and, the word of mouth happens. Yeah. So I don't think I think it's very basic that everyone knows, but to be able to do it, that's a different thing. Yeah, people know.
Execution is different.
Yeah, well, I mean, of course you have the strategy, but also the execution as well, right? And then, when we use influencers, KOL, we also have to choose the one that suitable with our brand. For example, the KOL that we work with are the KOL that really genuine. They really try the product, they like it, and they post, they share. We always say that you can try it first. If you don't like it, it's fine, because we think that when people like it and write about it, it shows. But if you just don't feel anything about it, right? Or if you don't even try it, the message that you write will just be so general. So we always chose to work with the genuine KOL. I think that's also important because we sort of know already who just received the money and write and who really try and tell us first how they think about it. So we have our own selections, and we just work with those people because we love the way they are as well, and we want them to tell their genuine feelings about our products.
So it means that you have really understood clearly who you're selling to, and is that person the first person that you're selling to is yourself?
Yes, I think a lot of people have. I think these days, a lot of people have sensitive skins, and that's not because of the genes. I think it's because of the choice in life. Whether things we eat, how we live our lifestyles, the product that they use. I'm not sure about other markets in Malaysia. I'm not sure, but in Thailand, I know how people think. People like to be white. Basically, it's still that conception. To me, I disagree
fair,
because
right?
I think
fair is beautiful.
Yes. But to me, I'm like, you can't. I mean, if you're not that fair, you can't become fair. You just have to be the best at your maximum that you can be, right? You don't have to be fair to be beautiful. So in Thailand, people like quick fix. They like to go to see a dermatologist and do something, whatever, crazy stuff. I mean, there are a lot of treatments here, right? You can do it, but you cannot just use another skincare that also peel off, and you use drugs, medicines as well. That has a very strong effects. But a lot of people, because of they want quick fix, they use it all together. Then they don't eat well, they don't exercise, they don't drink water, only drink milk tea and like cold stuff. I mean, Thai people, it's hot, right? People keep drinking cold stuff. It's not good for your stomach, everything. It's our skin. We are what we eat, it's all related, right? Your digestion's not good. It also shows on your face. You have acne, a lot of people have acne problem. So it's all related. And then, once you have bad skin and you use something strong, you take medicines that make your skin dry, then it's a vicious cycle. People have sensitive skin, and that's like by their own choice. So I cater my product for that, to help you have a strong skin. And all the behavior that I told you, the reason I knew, because I was that person. I did that. I took medicines for acne. I remember, I forgot the name right now, but it just make my skin all dry. My lips were all dry. When I worked so hard, I forgot to drink water. I did not exercise. Like, I was all that thing when I was younger. That was the younger version of me. But because of something, it was a crisis that happened to my face, right? It was a wake-up call to me that, no, you shouldn't do that. You have to eat well, exercise well, and have balance in what you do in life. I think that's also important. That's why Her Hyness is all about balance as well. That's why we don't use strong peeling chemicals to your face, because we know that skin barrier is the most important thing. Hydration is super important. All of our product will give sufficient hydration and help with skin barrier. So we look at that that's our core of Her Hyness. That's why we don't put like fragrance or alcohol, even though it doesn't irritate everyone, but it makes your skin dry. So yeah, we try to live in like balance. Yeah.
That's why I said all of us create that product for ourselves first.
Yeah.
Before we even get out to the market.
Right. And I think you have to believe in that as well, that it is. And I believe in it. I mean, the stuff that I told you, I had problem with my skin since I was a kid. So I saw a dermatologist since I can remember, because I have a lot of allergies. I have skin allergies, actually. So that's why. And then from talking to dermatologists, and I learned as well. I learned from the doctor, and I have to like be grateful for my times in both L'Oreal and Estee Lauder as well, that I was involved a lot in new product development, especially when I was at Lauder. Because we work for a China market, or China is a big market. Normally, I would have a chance to go to New York to talk about texture, learn more about consumer behavior in Asia. And that gave me the experience to develop my own product as well for Her Hyness. Yeah. So forever grateful.
You have a very interesting path coming from corporate to what you're doing right now. It's because they're so related in so many ways. At the same time, it also ties in with your own personal story of your. I remember when we were talking, you said it was a skin tragedy, right?
I remember calling my best friend and told her that if I cannot get back, if my skin cannot recover, I'd rather die. I said that, So it was a skin tragedy. And you really have to be patient with the skin. I mean, skin barrier takes so long to become strong again.
So now let me ask you some questions which have nothing related to your business. What are you no longer afraid of?
It was when I first started business, I think I was always afraid of losing people in my own company. When you start your business, right? It just, as I said, it was hard to recruit. And I always wanted to recruit someone like super qualified from big company to come help me. And I think last year, I was going to say, last year, we make a big decision in hiring a super qualified candidates from a big global company. He was really talented. He was really good, and he could help me a lot because, of course, they were well trained, right? And then, but we could not retain him, even with money, I would say. So because we're still a small company, so for about 8 months he has left, and I was so sad because I felt, was I a bad boss? What did I do wrong? Why? I try to help. In my mind, I had a clear path for him, but of course he probably didn't know. And then it wasn't a good culture fit because people who work with a big global firm for all their life, when they have to come work with an SME or startup, it was totally different culture because we didn't have like a proper structure or system, like a big HR team, or we don't have that, right? So I was really sad, and then I was scared back then that because he has been a great help, but then he left, and then I start to lose my confidence and think, was it, would I be able to do it without him? And then I realized, dude, I am a marketing manager for all my life. I used to be I was marketing manager, and I turn around brands, every brands, I help Mac grow. What am I afraid of? So I had to make a decision of hiring back then between, I'm not sure whether I should hire someone super qualified again with a super high compensation or hire like a junior one that I would train myself. I was a coach in Estee Lauder. So I thought, okay, what am I afraid of, right? I decided to choose the latter path, actually. So I hired a very good, motivating young marketers, maybe with little experience, but it's okay because I know, so I can train them myself, right? I think the important thing is the attitude and then the willingness to learn. Because sometimes when you hire someone with super experience, sometimes it's hard to train as well. So I decided to go to that route and train them myself. And having been doing that and see my business grow even further, it gave me confidence that I'm not afraid. It's okay. You can go. It's fine. I can train them again. No, it's okay. It's the confidence that I have earned and no longer fear of losing people. Yeah. And that freed me, I would have said. Yeah.
Oh, that's a really good lesson. I always think that it's like, the super qualified ones and all that, but maybe you can start from, the junior level where you can help them grow into the role you want them to grow.
Yes, I think it's the stage of the business as well. I think at different stage, we might need to hire like different type of people, and sometimes, I mean, if the business owner have experience, maybe you don't need to hire someone like super senior or super qualified. Maybe you can train them yourself. I mean, because the knowledge is here, right? So why, and then you're more happy as well because the youngster, they're more willing to learn and they're more digital savvy as well. And then when they have great attitude, you work together, you have fun as well. So it's good. And I like teaching people anyway. It's my nature. I teach my friends when I was in college. When I was at L'Oreal, I also teach my team. When I was in Estee Lauder, they also pick me as a mentor and a coach and buddy, like always. So I'm like, okay, if it's in my own nature, what am I afraid of?
Yeah, I love that story. Okay, who inspires you?
I have a very boring but an honest answer. My mom. So she was an entrepreneur herself, and my mom, she has gone through a lot, like from super fail, becoming so poor, success again, rich and poor, and got betrayed by her own family members, and she failed miserably because it was like internal thing that happened, but she stepped up and started to build her own business again. And right now she's doing so well. She's almost 70s. She's still fit and she's still super active. I think too much, or like workaholics. And she raised 3 kids, with 3 of us. And I believe we are good kids. So I think it's probably boring, but I think I have seen it firsthand since I was a kid. So she totally is my role model that, and I think that also, I think she is the reason as well why I wanted to have my own business.
Can you let us know what business she's in? Since she's still...
Yeah. She's we are in diamond business. Oh. Yes. So if you come to Bangkok, you can visit our store at Central World, first floor, Celi, CELI. So I'm also on the board right now, even though I don't run it every day, but I'm also advising as well. Yeah, because we also want to build a brand and make it better as well. Yeah, so we started from like no brand, change the name, change location, from being traditional to right now it's gonna be sort of like more tech, more digital.
And who do you inspire?
Who do I inspire? I don't know. Well, a lot of kids in school or in college, or my friend told me that I inspire them, but I don't know whether it's true. In every year, I graduated from Kanyachat University from BBA program, and they would invite me to talk to the first year student or third year career, and I always got like feedback from the kids and say that I'm the most inspiring speaker, and they want to be like me. So I don't know whether it's true, but yeah, I think I inspire them. Definitely, I inspire my own daughter.
Does she want to be like you to run the business?
Well, she said that. The last year she was in, she's in K3 right now, and last year when she was in K2, and it was a career week, and she chose to dress like businesswoman, and she told her teacher that she wants to be a businesswoman like me. So yes, I think I inspire her. Oh, she already told me that when is she going to graduate? She wants to work with me. So yeah, and the good thing is that she don't mention about her dad. Her dad also ran a business, right? Well, he used to run a business in China, and because of COVID last year, so I asked him to come back, and also because it was difficult to maintain the lifestyle in both countries because quarantine, and I was also afraid if he travels. And then back then, I already had my second child. She was born in 2020, right, during the COVID time. And because Her Hyness as well, we need to grow into omnichannel. And her dad is very good at e-commerce. China is so advanced for e-commerce, and he has been doing that before. So in a way, he has seen the future. And Her Hyness is growing so well that I lack manpower. So I asked him to come lead e-commerce in Thailand. And also it's better because otherwise, honestly, I have to work. I have to pick up 2 kids, raise 2 kids, sending the second one to swimming class. It's too much for me. So I asked him to come help. And I think together we become even stronger. And I have to say, he's the big part of growing e-commerce business during the past year. I would not be able to do it alone.
So isn't it fantastic to know that eventually what you started also brought your husband and everyone back to Thailand? Besides yourself.
Yeah, this can be another topic because some people don't prefer to work with their husband. I thought very hard because a lot of people would say that don't work with your own husband, your own partner, right? Because otherwise you sort of like mix at home you would talk
business
about work.
and family together.
Yeah, business and family. And at first I thought that it wasn't a good idea. And yeah, he likes to talk. I am the person who can stop talking a bit about business at home. I can shut it off. I was trained to do that because back in Estee Lauder, we have so much work. And if I don't learn to train my brain to stop, I will go crazy because there are a lot of things all the time. You have to like be on the con call with New York at midnight. There's emails coming, pouring. So I learned to do that back then already. But my husband, he can't. So he always talk about business and I always like close. I'm like, nope, not now. This is my peace, my Zen moment. Give me an hour. So I think because I can do that, then we did not go crazy at home. And also because we could not spend the entire day with the kids, right? So we always tell ourselves that when we are at home, we give 100% to our kids. Yeah. So it's also learning and adapting. At first, of course, we could not do that, but now we can. So I think right now it's a good balance. Yes. Yeah. To have someone that I admire my husband and I trust him the most. And right now he's in the business with me. So I felt grateful that he could come help. Yeah.
And what would you say are your best strengths besides marketing?
I am I never give up. Probably this is the thing. I always I was able to see things in different perspective. I would say. I think that started since when I was a kid. I went to Sweden as an exchange student. And back then I could not choose the city. And I was put into a very small city with only 10,000 people. Like the McDonald's is the best place. It's a hangout place in the city. It's called Necker. And I'm such a city girl. So when I had to go there and live like in front of the forest, it really depressed me. And, I was sent to the school that speaks Swedish as well. And then, it was tough in the beginning when I could not speak the language, right? And I suffered throughout the 6 months at first. Didn't have friends, just want to go home. And back then, remember, there was no internet. You remember ICQ?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. We still use ICQ back then. And calling internationally was really expensive,
right?
Yeah. So I probably wrote like 300 letters in a year. And, but then, somehow, I don't know what triggered me. And I just start to look at things in a different way. I just told myself that, Elle, this is such a great opportunity. You will never have this chance to live in the suburb again, ever. No way. To live in this city, going to a Swedish school, why don't you treasure it? So, and try to make the most out of it. And after I changed this, right, it just flipped, right? I joined the band of the school because I play piano. So I was in the band. I made more friends, I become like, very active and I enjoy the life there. So I think after that experience, every time that I face any obstacle, I always thought of Sweden. It's the same thing because I moved, when I was working in Singapore, of course, in the beginning, it was also tough. I didn't know the market and beauty back then was still new as well. And so I always told myself this, I live alone, of course. So I'm like, okay, this is such a great opportunity. You better make the best of it. Same case for China. I had to learn Chinese in 2 months. It was so hard language. Then I have to okay, calm down. What do you need to do in order to achieve this goal in 2 months? I told myself, I can't be expert in 2 months. No way. So you have to know, you need to be able to speak. You need to be able to understand. After that, it's fine. So no writing, no reading whatsoever. Speak and listen. What are the words that I need to use? And I list all down. How do you understand the sentence structure? Then you put the words together, right? It's fine. So I told my teacher my goals already. And then that's why I was able to talk. I present in Chinese. At first, I wrote all the pinyin on paper. My hands were shaking. 4 months later, no longer need script. So I think ability to see things in different perspective and never give up. I think it's what's make me resilient to every problem in life, I mean, even with Her Highness, we went through a lot of challenges and a lot of obstacles along the way, right? Not that I haven't failed. Of course I fail, and there's like a roller coaster, right? But whenever I fail, I always like, okay, take a deep breath and look at things and, be more optimistic, right? And then you have the power to fight. So I think this is one of my strengths, I would say. Yes.
Brilliant. I love that. I loved how you were so strategic with your Mandarin tutoring that you managed to do it in 2 months, which is actually quite amazing because even for native speakers, it's really hard, not an easy language to learn, right?
Very hard. Correct. Yeah, and when they had a meeting, they always have meeting in Mandarin, when you invite digital agency, they don't care whether you understand. But what I did is that when I hear some words that I don't understand, I write down and I ask my team what it means. And we learn new words every day.
I had such a great time just listening to you and listening to the things that you have done, not just for your business and your brand, but also in terms of yourself and the kind of person that you are and all these years of being corporate and also running your business. Another final question is, where can people find you online?
Oh, you can find us on Lazada, Shopee, and we will also launch brand.com, herhighnessbeauty.com very soon. You can also find us on Instagram. Let me show you. You guys can add, so become our follower. Instagram is still building our Instagram, Her Highness Beauty.
Yes, beauty.
Yeah, and also Facebook as well is also Her Highness Beauty. You guys use Lazada. You guys use Lazada too, no? Oh, but it's
Lazada and Shopee. Yeah, different country.
Different country. So going forward, brand.com, herhighnessbeauty.com, Facebook, and also Instagram.
Thank you, Elle. I had such fun. You made the whole process so easy because I'm talking to someone who not only understands business, but someone who understands marketing from the inside out. Because you've been doing marketing for as long as you've graduated, right?
Yes. Yeah. Well, marketing major, and after that, general business administration from MBA. Yes.
Yeah.
But I think as a woman, we should stick together because for women, I think sometimes it's hard to separate professional life and personal life completely. It's usually intertwined. So I think it's much harder than being a man. Sorry, not talking about gender equality here, but I mean, if you become a mom, you have to breastfeed your kids. It of course would interfere with your work or like put your kids to bed. Men usually don't really think about it and probably do not give full as much as attention as a mom. So I think a lot of people would have the same struggle. So we all should like stick together
and support each other. And I think that is the key thing because sometimes we don't understand what we call the double burden of a woman. Yeah. Because not only do we have to do the work at home, we also have to do the work outside of the home. Whether it's a business or a job that you have to undertake.
Yeah, whether there's food in the fridge, we don't have enough pork or chickens or eggs or milk,
someone's usually a grocery list, right? You have to type a grocery list.
Yes, all of this, right? I mean, it has to be there, or like missing some detergents, so.
And at the back of your mind, when you're having a meeting, at the back of your mind, what are we having for dinner? Who's cooking dinner and what's on the menu, right?
I had to have Excel planning the meals. And, this weekend, what I have to do? I have to do the timetable for the helper to make sure that everyone follow the scope of work and the schedule. Yes. And So I'll support each other.
So that's also the reason why I do this, right? I do this because I think a lot of people need to hear this story. Like you said, a lot of people hear a story when it's at the pinnacle of success.
Yeah.
Where you see all this wonderful results, right? But behind the scenes, it's really messy. It's really difficult. And sometimes sometimes can be quite heartbreaking. You put so much effort and energy, and then it's not turning out the way you want it to be. So I think that part of why our conversation today is really about that, right? To really show them that you can do all these things, but at the same time, don't forget there's all these messy bits that you still have to deal with, even as you're growing your family, even as you're having a baby and getting pregnant.
Right. I mean, things are not, with social medias, people just, think about it. People just post the beautiful photos, right? Or like the result of like whatever that they did. But people don't really share it every day, right? So I think if anyone, if you are starting business right now and you have problems, you have challenge, you don't know how to like allocate your time for family, for business, you're not alone. I think a lot of people are facing the same thing, but every problem can be solved, and there's always the light at the end of the tunnel, no matter what problem you have. So you really have to like put yourself together and think through. And a lot of times when I cannot figure things out, I write down. I put it on paper. I'm a very visual person, so I always like write down and see and say, okay, this problem, if I can find solution, I write down the solution, I cross it out, and okay, fine, that can be done, and then list it down. And once you know that you can solve it, you feel much more relief, and you're not alone. So you just have to fight and be resilient, and you can achieve whatever you want. I have 2 daughters. I always tell my daughters, we are good. We don't need to rely on anyone. So,
so you're a super empowered mom who's empowering her daughters.
Oh yeah, I told them we are Wonder Woman.
So thank you once more, Elle. Really fantastic interview. I think that those who are listening to us will definitely hear it in the things that they are learning and continue to learn as we continue to follow you on social media and more.
Thank you, Krista and Womanpreneur Asia as well for having me and for featuring Her Highness on the podcast. I'm super honored and grateful. Thank you so much.
From personal skincare crisis to starting a business and starting a family. I hope you got plenty of aha moments when you listened to Elle talking about her business. I know I did. She started with a good product, one that is free from harmful chemicals and eco-friendly as well. Her brand has also evolved since the day it was conceptualized. And while she has had challenges, she ensured that she found a way to overcome them by focusing on growing and coaching her team. She truly embodies an entrepreneurial spirit. Elle is one smart woman that I absolutely enjoyed talking to. She knows her products. She's focused and determined. The moment her brand is available in other Asian countries, we'll all be scrambling to try her products. I know I'll be looking out for Her Highness the next time I am in Bangkok. And as always, if you have been a listener since my first season and found value in my episodes, I appreciate it if you could leave me a review on Spotify or any of the podcast platform that you listen to this podcast. Reviews will definitely help this podcast get found and get more listeners. Until then, take care, and I will see you next Friday.